Not a winner. If you were watching Powerball just now, $334 million was the estimated jackpot on that one. Looks like I'll be at work on Monday. Hopefully you'll be partying a little bit extra tonight. If not, of course, we'll recap those numbers for you and let you know who did win the big Powerball jackpot. Another big trending story here, obviously we had Powerball, but the Tax Slayer Bowl, you had Georgia Bulldogs, Penn State Nittany Lions actually became quite a good game there towards the end, but Georgia Bulldogs win. Also, the city of Jacksonville wins. How many millions of dollars that jackpot is for our fair city. Also, the Coast Guard very busy tonight on the west coast of Florida. About a half dozen people had to be rescued from a boat. We'll tell you about that. And a local man from Jacksonville heading out west to help out with the flooding in Missouri and the St. Louis area. So we've got a very busy night on First Coast News at 11, which of course begins right now.
From the studios of NBC 12 and ABC 25, this is First Coast News at 11.
Yeah, very busy night indeed. I'm Lou Turner in for Jessica Clark tonight. We appreciate you being right there with us. We do have a traffic alert for you right now. All lanes of Normandy Boulevard at Granville Road closed. This after a reported fatal accident. And that is all we know right now. We are waiting for police to tell us more information, and we'll continue to update this story on air and online. Another pedestrian hit and killed on Atlantic Boulevard now, and that's according to police. The person was riding on a bicycle on Atlantic when the car hit them. The person was transported to UF Health where they later died. JSO is still investigating, and they have not released the person's name. Meanwhile tonight, severe weather creating a threatening start to the new year for millions of Americans. Right now, more than 24 rivers are on the brink of major flooding. Tonight, 2 states officially declaring emergencies and several others bracing for what is to come. So as you can imagine, many across the country jumping in to help, including a Jacksonville man who says he cannot sit back and just do nothing. So our Brittany Dion is live with how he is planning to help. Good evening, Brittany.
Good evening, Lewis. Imagine the St. Johns River rising as high as this guardrail and as tall as some of these buildings downtown. That's what the folks in the Midwest have been enduring over the last couple of days. And now a Jacksonville man says he is packing his bags and heading north to help.
Anybody else yet?
They got here.
Okay.
76-year-old Russell Comrade has dedicated his life to helping others.
Or anything, but you come in there and all of a sudden they know you're going to do something for them, and they start smiling, and and it just makes life so much better. And you get all these hugs and loving, and so it's a great thing to do.
Comrade joined the Red Cross after 9/11. He's been called to Missouri to help provide resources for those affected by severe flooding.
So I help set up the headquarters and the shelters and the warehouses that are needed for the supplies that'll be needed to help them afterwards to clean up.
The destruction is widespread. Several people still missing. With more than 4,000 hours of volunteer work under his belt is all too familiar for Comrade.
I've been on probably about 14 disasters.
His work has earned him several awards along the way, even being recognized by Oprah Winfrey herself as one of her favorite volunteers.
And I really think this is an opportunity for everyone to start looking into the Red Cross and seeing what they can do to help and get trained. So when there is a disaster, especially in your home, they're available and they know what they're doing.
Now the water has already begun to recede and cleanup has begun. And now, Lewis, it's my understanding that people are still bracing, preparing themselves for more.
Yeah, you're right, Brittany. As things come from upstream, downstream, you got to think about that as well. More rain, 10 inches of rain possible. In Missouri, there is a declared emergency tonight after 15 deaths. And while the worst is over in some places, as Brittany mentioned, the floodwaters are moving south. ABC's Richard Cantu has the latest.
From the sky, the breadth and depth of this disaster are painfully clear. The Mississippi River crested at a new high, sending its waters seeping and swamping its way in all directions. From Missouri down to Louisiana, rivers are rising, floodwaters swallowing everything in its path.
They're in shock because it's reached its highest since like 1993, I think.
Desperate measures failed to hold the water at bay, or came too late for many homeowners.
They go to work in the morning, everything's fine. They come home in the evening, 8 hours later, and we've had water rise 4 feet.
The floods have claimed hundreds of homes and at least 24 lives.
The vast majority of those deaths, probably 14 of the 15, are people that drove into water.
In suburban St. Louis, Matt Kreishley told ABC's Indra Petersons he could only watch helplessly as the rising water battered his house from this to this, finally dismantling it to driftwood.
But you guys are all safe. Everyone did get out okay.
Yes, everyone got out. My dog's all right, so those are important things.
The threat of major flooding from cresting rivers will move down the Mississippi and hang over the region for weeks, meaning scenes like these are an ominous preview of the new year for many communities. Richard Cantu, ABC News, New York.
Yeah, Richard, thank you. So it's that helpless feeling that the folks in town south of St. Louis know that it's just coming.
It's amazing. You know, some of those areas had the wettest year on record, then another 12 inches on top of that. The good news is they will be drying out over the next couple of weeks, and now it's our turn for some big changes.
A little bit of rain at least.
A little, not the flooding we saw on that scale. But first of all, tonight we said we had some good fire pit weather ahead of that rain, and yeah, I want to thank Karen for sending that great picture in. Looks like a fun night out there, but our Fun Day Sunday is what I'm concerned about. May have to be renaming it Rain Day Sunday. Let's take a look at why. Well, here's our radar. Here's Duval County. Beautiful night out there. A little chilly, but nice if you bundle up. But as we look at the big picture, yeah, we've got some issues here. Some heavy rain out to the west here, and this is making a move on us pretty quickly. In fact, we've got a jet stream roaring our way over 100 miles per hour, so it's going to push this moisture our way and cause plenty of lift in the atmosphere. Let's zoom in, do a little storm tracking here. We go Lake City, I-75, the first area that'll see some of that heavy rain, and then that'll move off to the east. So even Duval, Nocatee, St. Augustine, up to Fernandina, we're going to start to see some heavier showers move in after midnight, so don't be surprised to see a little pitter-patter on the windshield. Now, as we look at our rainfall amounts, this is what's interesting. We're going to have a wide variety of weather on Sunday. Some will actually miss out on most of the rain, while others will not. I'll make sense of it all and time it all out coming right up.
Mike, we appreciate that. And you're showing us the rain from around the state. We've got stories around the state now. Today, the Coast Guard scrambling to save half a dozen people who were stranded in cold water for more than an hour. This after their boat capsized near Egmont Key. According to the Coast Guard, 6 men were fishing when their boat began taking on water, and happened early this morning. Each man was wearing a life vest. They were holding on to the boat, according to the Coast Guard, as they were awaiting rescue for more than an hour.
I feel good. Yeah, a little cold, but it's fine.
Were you happy when our Coast Guard came to rescue you guys?
Yes.
Must be terrifying. According to reports, the men were in the early stages of hypothermia, but no one was reported injured. 4 of them were wearing life vests, and as we mentioned, all were clinging to the boat. All right, 11:07 is your time. Coming up after the break, a group of mad dads looking for answers after a baby is shot on Christmas Day. And another TaxSlayer Bowl in the books for Jacksonville. What kind of economic impact did it have on our town and on our accounting books? We're back after this. Stay with us.